everybody, it's your old pal Rob, and here we are, our top 20. Okay, we're gonna go from 20 all the way down to 11. This is where it gets exciting, and this is where it gets a little confusing and really hard, because how do you just come up with your top whatever games of whatever? Well, I did it. I banged my head against the wall, and some things I went, maybe. Some things I went, nah, maybe. I argued with myself the whole time. But there has been a major shift of things, and I'll be honest with you, this is going to be a very interesting top 20 for sure. So let's get started with number 20, no less. And it's kind of a new entry, but an old favorite, and I always kind of considered it part of Blood Bowl, but now that they've really kind of separated it and made where it's specific colleges and stuff like that, Dungeon Bowl is fantastic, and I really like the new game. I like what they did. I like the changes. I love what they did with the colleges of Magic and stuff, and this is just fun. A couple rule changes and things like that, but I think they were well needed, and it makes the game go pretty quick. It's a lot of fun. It's glorious, of course, and I mean, how can you go wrong with none other than Dungeon Bowl at number 20? At number 19 is, it's a game that a lot of people either extremely love, or people hold their nose up to it, and I don't understand why. But Mark Walker is one of those guys that just likes to make things simplified, fun, and very enjoyable. And I'm going to wrap the whole series, not one particular one, in this, and it's Old School Tactical. I really enjoy Old School Tactical, and there's a number of different reasons that this game really sits there and resonates with me. And the main reason being is that I am a huge fan of being able to bring younger talent into the hobby. And this is one of those games that has everything a wargamer could want in it, but kind of simplified a bit, where you can take all the different elements of wargaming, thus the old school tactics, and really have somebody new come in and not have it intimidate them. Beautiful counters, huge, well done system, solid, plays well, whether you're in the Pacific, in Stalingrad, or Normandy. One of my favorite systems, and I really enjoy playing it every time I take it out. The quality through the roof. What do you expect from a flying pig game? Just really greatness, and just really a lot of fun. And number 18 is probably one of my favorite space games, and that is Silent Death. This has just always been a very personal thing to me. I remember teaching my son when he was younger playing this, and it's a game that really stands out, especially when you got missiles flying all over the place and flying through asteroid fields. This is the game where we really started with our asteroid fields and doing battle in asteroid fields and just having a blast, and people getting blown up, not by the enemy, but trying to avoid the enemy and going into an asteroid. Just a lot of great memories, and a great, fantastic, and fun game. At number 17 is a game that I really love, and it's dropped down some because I just don't get it to the table enough, and that's Nemos War. This is probably one of the greatest solo games ever made, and yet I scratch my head on why I don't play it more. Quality, well done. One of my favorite videos I've ever done for the channel was our interview with Alan from Victory Point Games. and him showing us how to play the game, I was sold on the game that night. And from there, I just never looked back. I always loved Nemos War. We have the painted up mini for it that we were given, a matter of fact. And one of my favorite videos is showing Tina how to paint that mini. And this game just has so much to it and so many great memories. But I just don't get it to the table enough anymore. And maybe that'll change, because now that I feel guilty that it's at 17. Maybe next year it'll be a little bit higher. At number 16, chip theory games, which litter any kind of countdown list, and that's Hoplomachus. What a great game. And I mean, it has to be one of the greatest gladiatorial games out there. I enjoyed the chip play. The solo play is ridiculous. I have all 3 versions. I can't wait for the new one to come and get that here and just play this out and just have a blast with it. And Hoplomachus, plus when you get all the chips together, it's just hearing them click together as you move them around. It's just a great feeling, and just a lot of fun and unpredictable mayhem is the best way to put it. Hoplomachus at number 16. At number 15 is a game that has dropped down considerable amounts, and I guess there's some things going on with the company and the Kickstarter and stuff like that people have been complaining about. And anytime I talk Kingdom Death Monster, everybody seems to start screaming about Mr. Poots being not very honest with people. Well, that has nothing to do with the gameplay, but the game has dropped down a bit. It's just sometimes hard to get to the table and keep the momentum of that game going. But Kingdom Death Monster is a lot of fun and a very good game. I really enjoy playing it when we do play it. And honestly, I don't know what's going on. I don't particularly care, but I have a lot of things that I want to get this back to the table. And maybe next year it'll be back up in the top 10 where it normally was. But there's been a lot of changes and a lot of things that have pushed this out of the top 10 and got it down to 15. And number 14 is an all-time favorite of mine. And I think the only way that you can put this is it is probably one of the best skirmish games, and they need to remake this. And I'm hoping that we get some news that maybe this summer they do something with it, and that's Mordheim. Searching for Warpstone is probably one of the greatest experiences you will have in your life, and a lot of fun. And with all the great scenery that we have today, the world is just screaming for a revision of Mordheim. At number 14, this is an all-time classic, and it belongs there. The only other company besides Chip Theory Games that has a bunch of games in the top 20 is Games Workshop, and it's just number 1. Experiences, my love for the games, how I feel about them, and what more can I say? Mordheim at number 14. At number 13, well, you knew a GMT game had to be there, and it is probably one of the most underrated space games out there, because this thing, even though it's been reprinted 4 times, that is Space Empires. Probably one of the greatest 4X games out there. I love this game. I love playing it solo, the unexpectedness of things and how things go, and just how it plays out. The expansions are glorious. It looks intimidating, but it isn't, especially when you have to do all the math at the end of the turn, figuring out how many credits you have and how to spend them and so forth and so on. It's just one of those games that is just fantastic, and it looks intimidating, but is far from it. And Space Empires at number 13. And number 12 is a game that has dropped out of the top 12. Why? Again, it doesn't make it to the table, yet it's probably one of the greatest solo games of all time. But you know, there are things out there that I've been able to solo that have really kind of replaced this a bit, and that's Mage Knight. I love Mage Knight, and if you were in my top 20, I love every one of these games and play them over and over and over again. And it's just one of those games that has a little bit of everything. You know, it's a deck builder, it's you know, an adventure game, you know, resource man, you know, it has a little bit of everything, and it's an all-time classic. Mage Knight, I mean, if you don't have it and haven't tried it, they have now a deluxe edition that you can get all the expansions and everything in, and I highly suggest you go pick it up because it is a fantastic experience, and that's Mage Knight. And I guarantee you will love it. And number 12, Mage Knight. And rounding out our list today is an all-time classic and has been recently reprinted and is winning as of this moment because Nemesis Lockdown was winning to get painted, but Hero Quest has overcome it by 1 point. And yeah, that's right, Hero Quest. So we're going to be painting Hero Quest, and unless something changes. But coming in at number 11 is Hero Quest. One of the all-time great games for its simplicity. It does have depth. I don't care what anybody says. The app, what that does for it, it doesn't take away from the game. There is just this beauty about this game that it's simple, yet you know, you have to plan things out a certain way. You never know when anything's going to pop up or something's going to go wrong. Whether you're facing Zarkon or facing Zarkon in the app itself, reprinted, redone, magnificent, a must-have for anybody that loves dungeon crawls. And for a long time this was hard to get, and now you can get it and have it in your collection. Heroes Quest, a must-have for anyone that loves dungeon crawls. I highly, highly suggest it, along with the other 2 expansions. So, what does that leave, folks? Well, I'll tell you what, our top 10, and boy, is that gonna be a doozy. I think you're gonna be shocked at what's in the top 10. I think maybe you're gonna be shocked to see what's in the top, the top game of all time for me, and my reasons why. So, or maybe you won't be and just go, wow, I'm not that shocked because you talk about this game all the time. I talk about a lot of games all the time. But right now, there you go. Our top, we're heading into our top 10, and join us next week as we do our top 10 and we find out who's number 1 on our list. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and until next time, it's your old pal Rob saying, we'll see you soon, everybody.